Hello, Ella. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the site leo.org. This is the website that I recommend you use anytime you need to look up words, either going from English to German or German to English. Never use Google Translate, use leo.org. Also gehen wir! So you're going to go to the website www.leo.org that you can see up here at the top. You will select English to German, and once you do that the first time, it's going to remember your choice every time that you come here. They have German to a lot of other languages, so make sure you do German to English. All right, so first we're going to look at looking up simple nouns. All right, so in your search bar, say I want to know what the German word for cat is. I'm going to insert cat, and you'll notice there are a lot of things that came up here. Generally speaking, the very first thing that you see here is going to be what you want to use. So die Katze is what I want to use. So I'm good to go. But I want to show you some of the other things that you can see here. So down this left-hand side of the screen, you can see some extra definitions. You'll get used to these hopefully over time. If you see ZOOL, that means zoological, so that is generally going to be the animal term. Whereas you see here, jazz enthusiast, like somebody who's a cool cat, would be der jazz fan. So really pay attention to the stuff on in parentheses and in brackets on the left side of the screen. You'll also notice that leo.org provides a lot of compound noun situations. So if we want to know what a cat cafe is, I can see das Katzencafé. If I want to know what a cat burglar is, der Fassadenkletterer. Literally the climber of the facade or outside of a building. Okay, so you can look down here and see a lot of compound nouns listed that have to do with cat. If it is a word that also has phrases attached to it, you might see those down here. This one also has abbreviations for computer terms, cat there. Adjectives that go along with that noun, so cat-like, katzenartig, you see here as well. Verbs that might have to do with that noun. Phrases, those are often your idioms and things that don't translate super easily. Okay, some examples down there as well. So there's a lot of information here, which is why I generally say it's going to be the first result up here. This is the most common translation of the word cat, die Katze. There is a table that you can open for any noun, and you see I floated over it, and now it says Open Noun Table. When I do that, I see declination of the noun Katze, and that's just basically the different forms. As you get further in your German studies, you'll be learning what is nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and you see the thes here for bestimmten Artikel, definite articles, and the ein words here for unbestimmten Artikel. Okay, so don't forget that that table is there for nouns to give you a little bit more meat to your search, so to speak. All right, the next thing that I want to look at is, say you have a German word and you want to find out what it means. So, for example, the word Kirche. I see that in a homework worksheet or an activity that I'm doing. I'm not sure what it means. I entered it, and I can see the same results that I saw for cat, typically going with the top choice, Kirche, and I see church here. And then various forms of that. One neat thing you can also do with Leo is hear how words are pronounced.
Die Kirche.
So I can click on the play button here. If it has a circle around it, these are really good audio files. The squares are more computerized audio files, so I would avoid those. The next thing I want to look at is adjectives and how you can differentiate and figure out what word to choose. So if I have the word funny, for example, I come over here and I see a lot of choices for funny, and I'm not sure which one I want to use. I recommend, especially with adjectives, doing some cross-referencing. So I see komisch is my first choice, and I did just tell you, generally go with your first result. I'm going to click on komisch and I come over here and I see funny, comical, comic, droll, queer, weird. Okay, so that's probably the word that I want to use. But then if I look at lustig, hilarious, jolly, merry, maybe this is a better funny for me. So sometimes cross-referencing if there are a lot of choices, especially with adjectives, cross-reference. One more advanced thing that you can do with Leo and adjectives is if you open the table, you're going to see endings in red. Okay, this is something that we will be learning in German 3, so German 3 and above. This is a useful thing to remember, is adjective endings, because adjectives in German always take endings if they're used with a noun. For example, if I want to say my funny sister, I have to know what case it is, what's going on, a lot of technical stuff that some of you don't need to know yet. But just know that the table has a lot more information for adjectives than you saw with nouns. As also includes your comparative and superlative, which we learn in German 2, and then taking endings onto those. There's a lot of information here on Leo. It becomes kind of a one-stop shop for translations, like dictionary translation, but also for grammar references. So remember this with words as well, to come over here and click on the table to open that up. The next thing that I want to show you is verbs. We all know sentence has got to have a verb, so let's see what Leo can do for us with verbs. Starting with one basic verb, to go. When I enter to go, the first thing I'm going to see, and you need to be careful here, is a list of nouns, ways that we use go in noun form. A place to go, a coffee to go. We want a verb, so make sure you pay attention to the headings here. None of that is what we need if we're just trying to find the verb to go. Then I see my verb choices here, and first choice, gehen. So all of you that are in German 2 and above, you know the verb to go is gehen, so that is my first choice here. Again, I have the audio option.
Gehen.
I can hear, and I have the table that I can open up. Now, for German 2 students, you know the present tense already, and you should also be a little bit familiar with the future tense. I will go, ich werde gehen, you will go, du wirst gehen. These are the two, the future 1 and the Präsens, Futur 1 and Präsens are the two that you would be using here to start out German 2. Those of you in German 3 just starting out, last year, right before the shutdown, we had learned the Perfekt, so the present perfect tense. You see that up here right next to present, because these are the two most commonly used forms in speaking. So, ich bin gegangen, I see my helping verb here. Remember, we have those helping verbs, haben and sein, and I can see it indicated here and conjugated for me, and then the past participle. There are a lot of other tenses here. This year in German 3, we'll be learning the Präteritum, which is the simple past tense. In our upper levels, German 4, we learn that Konjunktiv 2, the subjunctive. There are a lot of verb forms here that you will never use in our high school curriculum, but just be aware that they are here. The imperative, our command form, is here as well. So verbs are very robust. There's a lot of information for verbs on Leo as well. Again, not just a translation site. This is a place to go for grammar help and grammar references as well. Now to end on a little bit of a word of caution. As I said in the intro, Google Translate is bad. We do not want to use Google Translate. We want to be learning our vocabulary, learning our German in context, but we do need a site to go to, and Leo is that site. I've had students ask me before, can I type in a sentence? So I go to school, like I would on Google Translate. Can't do that here. Okay, so it does have a phrasing of to go to school, in die Schule gehen. So I know if I am pretty good at German, ich gehe in die Schule, I go to school. But then it breaks down all of those parts because it's not a translator, it's a dictionary. So it read in my search there to go, and it's given me different forms of go. Now it's given me some things about school, and you can see there's 605 results here because I gave it too much information. There are example sentences. I ought to go, ich sollte gehen. This is getting into stuff that we don't know how to do yet. So trust your own ability. You know the word I, ich. Okay, we need the verb to go, and then you should have learned how to conjugate. So I find gehen, I look up the forms. Maybe I don't remember my conjugation very well, so I click the table and I say, oh, ich gehe. And then I can look up to and school if I need to and put those pieces together. So just a reminder, this is a dictionary site. It's right up here at the top. It says dictionary. This is not a translation site where you can put in phrases and paragraphs of information and have it translate for you. If you're needing to do that, this is not where to go, okay? So that's just my little bit of caution for you. But bookmark leo.org. Come here often, use this and get used to it, and it will help you a lot this year and in future years as you study German. Danke and tschüss. I know I already said tschüss, but we have to have an appearance by Frau's Katzen. Hallo Merle. Tschüss alle.